Guten Tag and welcome back everybody to the mod spotlight for Advanced Rocketry Part 2, in which we will go to space. We will start up with the spacesuit, which you will actually need when you try to survive in space. It is fairly easy to build. Just grab a full set of the space armor and put it on. The next thing you want to do is build the suit workstation. Right click on it and you can see the armor shows up here on the right side. You can then place every single piece of armor here in the suit workstation and advance every single piece of armor. The armor itself, let me go to 0, there we go. The armor itself is already fit for survival in space. You can see over the hunger bar we have the O2 indicator, which is right now empty. To fill up the oxygen inside the spacesuit, you need to place down a gas charger pad and fill it, in this case, with oxygen. You can, for this matter, also use the oxygen that you create in the electrolyzer. Once it is filled up, you can step on the plate and it will fill the tank that is built into your spacesuit. As mentioned earlier, it is possible to upgrade every single piece of spacesuit equipment in the suit workstation. The spare's helmet, for example, can be upgraded with an anti-fog visor, which is basically night vision, and an atmosphere analyzer, which will analyze the atmosphere. Just place it in the boxes below the actual piece of equipment and put it back on. And you can actually see right now in the top left corner it shows the installed improvements, and in the bottom left corner it shows right now the atmosphere on the planet we are on. In this case it is just Earth, Minecraft Earth, so we have a normal pressure, normal atmosphere. You can upgrade the chest piece with additional tanks and the jetpack. Whoa, there's a lot of jetpacks. One is enough. And with pressure tanks, you can store 1000 additional gas in a low pressure tank and up to 8000 in a super high pressure tank. So put them in here, put the suit back on, and you can charge it up even more. At least I thought it would be the case. And you see an additional bar for the jetpack, which is now the H2, which is the hydrogen. So we will place down another charge pad, fill this one up with hydrogen, and charge the jetpack. The jetpack even has two additional features, which is the hover upgrade and the flight speed control upgrade. Both are to be installed inside the helmet. And after that, we have better speed and control over hovering. We, in this case, use X to turn on the jetpack, and we have instantly flight. And Shift X turns on the hover mode, the upgrades, and you have better control over what you are actually doing. Very helpful, especially when you are in space. Additional upgrades are the bionic leg upgrade for the spacesuit leggings, which is basically a speed increase, and the soft padded landing boots for the space boots, which is a negation of fall damage. It is installed and we don't take fall damage any longer. And we are also fairly fast. When your spacesuit is built, you will actually build a rocket to go to space. This one I will build a little bit larger than the last ones, because they are faster that way. This time we will also need a guidance computer and a seat. The seat doesn't have to be on top of the guidance computer, of course. And keep in mind that you can build the rocket in every shape and form you like, as long as you keep inside the boundaries of the launch pad and the structure tower. When your rocket is built, you can actually scan it again in the rocket assembling machine. And if it is viable, in this case it is, you can build it right away. Don't forget to link the fueling station and the rocket monitoring station to the actual rocket. You can also do it by linking the fueling station to the actual rocket assembling machine, which works in the same way as linking it to the rocket. Now we can actually sit in the rocket, as we can see here. But as you can see in the middle of the screen, destination is right now not given, so we have to change that. To set the destination, we need to place a Planet ID chip inside the guidance computer, just an unprogrammed one. And when you now shift right click on the rocket, you can select destination, in this case the moon, select, hop into the rocket, and you can see destination moon. When your destination is set and you have everything you need, just right click to the rocket, enter it, press space to take off. When the max altitude is reached, a short loading screen will appear and you will end up over the moon. We press space to descend and we will descend down to the surface of the moon. On the surface of the moon you can recognize right away that the atmosphere type is vacuum with 0 atmospheric pressure and no breathable atmosphere. We can still exit the rocket though, because we are wearing the spacesuit. Once on the moon you can mine for additional minerals, especially for dilithium, which is way more common here than on Earth, which you can see rise up over the horizon there, which is really nice. And dilithium you need later for building the mass detector. I showed that in the first part of the mod spotlight. And you will need it for dilithium crystals. You need the dilithium crystals as fuel in the warp core, which I will explain a bit later. To return back home, you want to set up a fueling station or fuel the rocket directly manually by right-clicking it with fuel. When your rocket is fueled up again, you can return to home. Don't forget to select destination Earth first. Rockets are limited to orbital travel though, which means they can only travel to eventual moons around the orbit of a planet and to space stations. And we want to go into that next. Space stations are actually very similar to satellites, how they work together with advanced rocketry. For that purpose I prepared a little bit of a bigger launch pad here, and this will be used to build the structure we want to send into space as our space station. We need an additional assembler for it, the space station assembler. And to make use of the space station assembler, you need to place an empty unprogrammed space station ID chip and a satellite bay in the top slots here, and then the complete structure that you build on top of a launch pad. Remember also the restrictions are in place here, so you have to build it maximum the same outline as the launch pad in terms of width, depth and height. You can just build simple platforms and expand them in space, or complete structures including doors and chests. Once you build your station, you just need to click Build in the Space Station Assembler. When the process is completed, the space station will disappear and this small package will appear inside the space station builder. Take him out as well as the space station ID chip. Now we need to build a rocket again, and this can be the same as the one we built for the satellite. Just a bunch of thrusters, tanks and a satellite bay. The space station container will end up in the satellite bay, build the rocket and launch it when it's fueled. The space station will now be built in orbit around Earth. In the meantime, you can put the space station ID chip inside the guidance computer, like so. Hop onto your rocket and go to your space station. And the rocket will land right on top of your space station orbiting Earth. Of course, we have low gravity here. First, we want to make the space station a little bit more secure by providing it with atmospheric pressure and oxygen. Just place down some sort of energy, a oxygen vent, 2 CO2 scrubbers to the sides, a carbon collecting cartridge inside the scrubbers, and give it a redstone signal. Now we have oxygen. When we turn on survival, our helmet can even tell us that we have pressurized air and 1 atmosphere and breathable air as well. Nice. For a little bit more realism, you can add orientation controller, gravity controller and altitude controller to the space station. With these you can actually change the orientation, for example to make it rotate like an actual space station would. Change the gravity lower or higher, and change the altitude that the space station has from Earth. Now you maybe want to expand the actual space station. You can do that in 2 different ways. The first way is the most easiest way. You just step outside and build whatever you want. In this case, just a little airlock. There is also another way to expand your space station by building modules on Earth and sending them to space to be attached automatically. Therefore, you need to place a station docking port wherever you want the new expansion to be added and set a MyID in the MyID field. In this example, I will just go with 1. Back on Earth, we build the structure we want to attach to the space station. In this case, a landing pad for the rocket. To make it functional, we will install a docking pad, so the rocket will no longer land on top of the space station, but on this docking pad. Lastly, we need to tell the expansion where it has to dock to the actual station. Therefore, we need to install another station docking port and give it the target ID of the ID we gave the station docking port on the space station. And the both pieces will attach each other with this side here, which is called the clamp. Both station docking ports will be deleted in the process. Now you just have to put the space station ID chip of the actual space station inside the space station assembler and an empty satellite bay and build it. The process will us provide again with some of those neat little packages. Remember to pick the space station ID chip back up again. And then we bring it to space in one of our satellite carrier rockets. Just put the space station container inside the satellite bay and launch your rocket. And by the next time we visit our space station, we have an actual place to land our rocket. Very cool. For easier travel, we can also set up any sorts of teleportation. In this case, I used RF tools to go back and to the space station easier. This also concludes the second part of the mod spotlight. And in the third and last part, we will look into the warp core and how we can transform our space station into a neat little spaceship to travel to different solar systems and planets. So, I hope you liked this one. We will see us again in part 3. Take care of yourself, guys, and rock on!